Moment of truth. Okay, that's a good sign. Oh, hello there. Come on back in. Show you where we got to today. As you can see, I put a couple panels up over here. That's the wainscoting we're going to be using on the wall. It's going to go all the way up the ceiling and on the side walls here. So what we're going to do now is I need to measure this off. Obviously these pieces are angled. So what we're going to do is we want to measure up. I know it's 4 feet from here to here because I put the stud there. So our first sheet will be from the floor up to this point, and we'll take that measurement, 73.5. And then what I'll do is get a measurement over here, which looks like about 44. And then what I'll do is we'll go downstairs and we'll mark out 44 at this end, 73.5 at that end. And I'll show you how we put down the straight edge and just cut a nice piece there. So this will be one piece, and this piece will be a little trickier. We got to cut it around the door here. So what I'll do is take more measurements of these points, how wide this is right here, and then that little section over there. And then we'll cut this. These two angled pieces, then we got the same two over there, but those are just flat. There's nothing to cut out like the door. So that's it. We're just going to measure everything out. I'm going to take these pieces here that I ripped off of this wall, if you can see, and then I have to put pieces, just little pieces back on here to shim this out, so I can put the paneling right over this. Otherwise the paneling will do one of these if I go up against the 2x4. So we'll have to trim a bunch of those down so I can fill in these strips. I'm not going to fill them in completely. I'm just going to put strips on the 2x4s just so it keeps the sheet out, and then we'll be good to go. I did not film this door, so I'll talk about it. Obviously this is the storage area. As you can see, that's all done. I already filled with decorations because it's Christmas time. Figured it was perfect. I set up the Christmas decorations and then I put them in there, and I put the luggage in here too. That's it for right now. So as far as framing the door, it's actually set up pretty good. I built, normally you want to have a king stud here, but because I'm so tight to the ceiling up here, what I had to do is this is called the king stud here, where you have 2 studs, and that worked out perfectly going up against this wall. So usually what you do is you have this stud here, another stud here, and then this cross piece across the top. And then what you would have is a whole stud here that went all the way up, just like this one over here. Because I couldn't do that, I had to just piece it together like this, and as long as it's just an attic space, I mean, it's nice and sturdy, it ain't going anywhere. And it's just a light door anyways. So then what you do there is, this is always going to be whatever your door is wide. So this is a 28-inch door, I think. So that means you're going to frame 30 inches of gap. So these 2 studs are 30 inches apart. You're always going to add another 2 inches. So same with up top. It's an 80-inch tall door, so this is going to be 82 inches. And then it's pretty much it. So when you're measuring it out, just add 2 inches to whatever the size of the door is. Not the frame, just the door. If this was a 30-inch door, then you would add 2 inches, it'd be 32 inches wide, and so on and so forth. So I didn't get a chance to film that. Once you get, so you're going to frame in 2 inches bigger all the way around of what the door is, and then you'll see when the door goes in here, there's a little gap all the way around. And what you do then is you start putting in these little shims. I think I got a couple here. And go buy a pack of wood shims, and they're tapered. And what you do is you take them and you stick them in here when you're done, and that's how you get the gap filled in. So then you just go around, tap these in here, and then you're gonna nail through them in the door. So what the door does is you can either screw it or nail it. I just nailed it with the 16 gauge, but you nail right through these shims, and then it makes it all nice and anchored in there. The other thing you want to keep in mind is this door is going to sit out, the frame here is going to sit out whatever your drywall or paneling or whatever it is. In this case, I wanted it to be flush, so I did move it back, but in your case, you might bring it out a 1/2 inch, 5/8 for drywall. So you want to keep that in mind. And what it should do is these are made to, the frame of the door is made to fit drywall on both sides. That's how they come. So you'll see if you center it, it'll fit drywall on both sides, and then you can put your door casing over it, which I have downstairs. So we'll do that. I'm going to do paneling first. Excuse me. I'm going to do paneling first, and then the door casing all the way around. So I got my measurements. Let's head downstairs, and I'll show you what we're doing with the paneling. All right, so I got my measurements here. This is the first sheet. This is the paneling we're using. This is a nice little beaded wainscot they have at Lowe's. It's $23 a sheet, so it's a little pricey. But I really don't want to have to finish drywall up in that little room, and it's kind of not a permanent situation anyways, in case somebody wants to change it to something else. So I just thought I'd do something simple here. So what we're going to do is we got that measurement, let's see, what was it, 73.5 on this side. That's going to be our corner there. So I'm going to measure up from this side, and we'll mark it at 73.5. And obviously we want that right at the end. And then what I'll do is pull this one down so I can measure. And this measurement was so that's our measurement. Now what we're going to do is I want to line this up. What I'm going to do is move this panel like this, because what I want to do is I'm going to cut in here with the saw. And here's the issue with this, is the system works great, but unfortunately it's not long enough. So we're going to need a little more straight edge to line this up. And then what we'll do is move it while we cut. So that's pretty good right there. So what I'm going to do is line this up. I want it to be right in the middle of here, so I can cut. I'm just going to make sure that's lined up, because I don't want my blade to hit anything underneath here. So I highly recommend, if you don't have the circular saw set up like this, this is a nice setup. This is the Craig AccuCut system, but it works really well for simple things like this, where you just need to make a couple cuts. There's plastic on the bottom of it, so what it does is you don't have to clamp it or anything. It just kind of sits still, and then this track system just rides right on top of it like this. It'll sit right in the track. There's a guide and everything. It'll follow this side of this right down, all the way down, so I'll show you how we do it. Just like that. And then what it does is it cuts a nice smooth edge right here. And then what I'll do is slide the whole thing that way, right to this next point. Just like that. I'll back the saw up. And now we'll just continue. Just like that. And as you can see, nice straight cut, just the way we wanted it. So that's one piece. It's easy as that. Get some of the dust off of it. There you go. What do you think? So we'll take this upstairs, I'll test fit it, and then we'll cut another one. So with this next one, this is for the door. Whoops. So what I'm going to do is I want to measure out, it's just under 15, 14 and 7/8. So I need to cut a chunk out 14 and 7/8. And then on this side, it's going to be 3 3/4. But I also have to cut some off of this side because it's not quite as wide as that. It's only 47 1/4 total. And this is 47 and 7/8. So I got to take a 1/4 inch off of it. So what I'm going to do is mark this at then we'll take that straight edge again and we'll trim this all off. Same thing, we'll start at one side and then I'll just slide it forward because it's obviously only 4 foot. Okay. So that's it. The only thing I hate about circular saws is they make quite a mess. Even with the dust collection, which I don't have on there, it's still messy. All right, so that'll give us our 47. So like I said, now what we'll do is, maybe I'll turn this around. And I'm just measuring 14 and 7/8. And then my height is 81 and 3/8. So, and then on this side, we want to be at 3 3/4. So pretty much we're just drawing a rectangle on here, and that's what we're going to cut out. And then I have to notch the bottom a little bit because I have that little lip in the corner where this goes. So I'm going to set up the straight edge. I'll cut as far as I can. We'll probably have to notch this with the jigsaw, but I'll get as close as I can. The joys of working in a small shop, folks. Get yourself a bigger shop if you can. All right, so that one's done. Now what I need to do is spin this around so we can do the other side. So my tape measure's in the way. This is where it pays to have support, like I do with the combination of the table saw and the bench here. I have that folding table outside, which I was cutting on yesterday for the first couple pieces. So now we just got to measure this. Like I said, 3 3/4 what we're looking for. So we'll do a bunch of marks. Now the last one is up here, and I also have to cut 4 inches off of here. So we'll do that real quick. Moment of truth. That is not bad. Let's try the other one. As you can see, I cut this into 2 pieces because right here there's going to be casing on this seam right here, so it didn't matter, and it just was way difficult to carry that without that. So all right, that looks pretty good, guys. What do you think? Well, there you go. How about that? So next up, nail gun. And what I'm gonna do is, gotta line this up first, make sure everything's good. Oh, I gotta get in behind the door here. There we go. Gotta get some nails. Okay guys, looking good. All right, great. Well, there you go. You just nail it in there. I'll go through and countersink all these nails, put some silicone on them, and then I'll probably just take a roller and just put some paint on it real quick. But I'm gonna go around, do all these walls. I'm gonna start with this one next. I'll have to cut a little triangle, if you can see up there. It's just a little bit down to this floor is just a little bit over 8 foot, but from this ledge up it's 8 foot to that plywood. So I'll probably just put a triangle in there, and then I'm probably just put a piece of trim or a piece of molding or something at the top just to finish it off. I mean, all these edges are going to end up getting molding of some sort once I figure that out. But for the time being, the storage room is closed off and we're moving right along. So I'm going to continue on with this wall, and then we'll do the ceiling last. I will catch you in the next video when we start the flooring, which will be super easy. It's just vinyl flooring, it just clicks together. And then we'll just have to do some trim work to finish this off and some paint. I have a light. We'll install that. We got 3 outlets to wire in. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.